carers at the Essence service here in Sunderland, always up for a challenge. And one day they said to me, please get in the incontinence service in. We need to have a chat with them. So I got in touch with the Bladder and Bowel Service, which are part of the hospital trust here in Sunderland. And the nurses came and, they were wonderful, really friendly, lovely nurses, joined the group of men, and they'd brought with them some incontinence products that were available for women who were having trouble either with their bladder or their bowel.
When Wendy said she was getting the incontinence team in, I thought, oh God, these lads are never ever going to sit and listen to that. And yet on that day, I was gobsmacked. They were absolutely terrific, I mean, listening to talk about pull-ups and pads and, because to be quite honest, I'd never experienced that, because the minute my wife became incontinent was at the time when she needed to be in a home. And I'd never gone through, the size of, we laughed about it. I mean, the size of the pads they were getting, and then when she showed them the samples, they're too big, and I'm thinking, go on, get on, and it was so funny, wasn't it?
They spoke to the men about these products and showed them, some that were available. And the men really weren't happy that the nurses couldn't prescribe pull-up incontinence products, which they currently use for their wives, all of whom have some incontinence. And they said that the products that the nurses were able to offer weren't suitable for their wives. They were bulky, didn't promote independence or their wives' dignity, so they weren't happy about that at all. Late after the session, the nurses came back with some good news. So they'd taken the gentleman's feedback back to their managers, and they shared the fantastic news that the pull-up products were now available from the Bladder and Bowel Service for both men and women who had a diagnosis of dementia and were struggling with incontinence. They would need an assessment first, and the pull-up products would have to be suitable for their needs, but they were now available. The men were over the moon. It was a great result.